Hi, I'm Alan Ross. We're here at the RE Plus Conference and Exposition. We're talking to thought leaders about the future of the energy economy. So join us and enjoy. My next guest is Matthew Williams. He is with Ionate. Matthew, thank you for joining us. Something about you personally, about changing the world in some way through interdependent systems thinking, and obviously that's got something to do with Ionate. Are you the CEO and founder of Ionate?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, when did you do that?
So I founded the company in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been working in the industry for 10, 15 years.
Okay.
I'm an electrical and control systems engineer by background.
All right.
So I was from Australia originally and saw as the energy transition started to happen that as we added all of these renewables and technologies into the system, it was going to get very, very complex. And the right hardware and software technology in order to enable that didn't really exist. So that's why I started Ionate.
The right hardware and software technology to make sure that the renewable energy market works is not here. That's what you just said. So you're going to make it here. That's what Ionate does.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of great work on solar and storage
Right.
and wind and all these things, electric vehicles coming into the system, and that technology is great, but I come from a systems design background.
Excellent.
So when we look at the energy system as
yeah.
a whole, everything is interconnected through the electricity grid, and it's a very, very complex system. And so traditionally, we've only really had two approaches to upgrade the system. One is a hardware-based approach, but all of the existing technologies that are out there get added on top of the system. So you end up with this whole electricity grid with all these layers of fragile, expensive technology. That's the exact opposite of what we want the energy system to be.
So how do you start over? Because you're exactly right. And one of the problems with the whole renewable energy is by stacking up, we make the system much more complex.
Yeah.
It makes it less resilient, and it makes it less reliable. So how does Ionate do something about that?
Yeah, you're exactly right, and it's really that problem that we started with, because we can't just do what might seem best today and what's going to be best for next year or the year after. We need to really be looking at where do we need to be in 20, 30, 40 years time,
Okay, right.
and work backwards from that. So for Ionate, we've got hardware, software innovation that can go into the grid, and we can deal with these power flow challenges that we have today and make improvements literally today, but we also enable and future-proof the energy system. So as things get more complex, we've got this new, more flexible, robust platform to build everything on top of.
So you must have thought about the world coming, right?
Yeah.
20, 30, 40 years, you must have thought about it.
Yes.
And as a systems person, while you're in the shower or at night, it pops in your head, right? A way to make it better.
Yeah.
Where do you think we are going? I mean, we've got the war in Europe, we've got billions of dollars being spent in the United States. Where do you see the renewable energy market going in the next 10 years, say?
Yeah, look, it's really going to continue to accelerate. At the kickoff event last night, they were talking about this inflection point in the system, and I think not only in the US, but globally, we're starting to see that. So I think everything's going to continue to accelerate,
Right.
But we need to make sure that we've got the right underpinning and technology to make sure that as we accelerate, we don't do something now that ends up costing us dearly in the future.
Are your customers primarily utilities or what?
That's certainly one of our primary targets,
Right.
particularly distribution utilities.
Okay.
They have very, very large, complex systems. So our hardware and software can go in there, optimize power flows, and really help them get the most out of their system. But we're also working with solar, grid-scale storage, large
Okay.
industrial, where things like dealing with power quality issues, whether that be voltage and harmonics or power factor, and enabling them to deal with that with lower CapEx and OpEx.
You said the sexy word, power quality issues, because all of this DER that we've got, wind and solar, creates all kinds of transients that is affecting the asset that we've got out there. But power quality is going to be the next big bugaboo, in my opinion. How does Ionate affect power quality?
So our hardware goes in and it replaces transformers. So we go in and do that job.
Wait.
Oh.
I'm a transformer guy.
Yeah.
It's transformer technology. Don't say
Yeah.
replace. No, I think that's great because it's time for change. Yeah.
But see, because our hardware is a hybrid intelligent transformer. So we still have the transformer. We still do that step change. We still have the electromagnetic core or the windings.
Okay.
What we do is we add local control. So we have a controller, we have a small amount of electronics, but the way that we do it, our innovation means we can scale to the much higher power ratings of the electricity grid, but keep our whole system much more affordable and reliable and efficient. But what's really critical is we don't have any electronics in the primary pathway of the power flow. So it means if there's any issue with the electronics, we go into a bypass mode and maintain normal transformer functionality. So we're not introducing any new failure modes.
No, that's excellent. I mean, it's a complex system. When I introduced you, I talked about interdependent systems thinking to change the world, and you are talking about a world changing. I mean, systems changing. What do you think one of the biggest challenges to that is, other than, well, Matthew, that's the way we've always done it?
Yeah.
Okay, so other than that kind of thing, what do you think one of the biggest challenges is going to be?
Look, I think that particularly when we're dealing with utilities as a customer, there's this inherent need to keep everything very, very reliable. We need 99.999%. So we can't expect any customer to say, oh, we're just going to throw all of this new stuff in the grid. It would be, not the right thing to do. So I think there's a journey for technology to go on in dealing in the industry. And so I think it's less about having customers saying, oh no, we don't want to try things, and more going on this journey with them and not trying to sell, this is what it's going to be in 30 or 40 years time. Here's the challenge today. Here's how we help you today. And then as the technology progresses, we can go on that journey with them.
Now, I don't know if anybody else will pick up on this, but in 2019, in the midst of COVID, you started this company.
Yes.
Okay. What are you, crazy? I mean, that is a very difficult time to start a company. But the fact that you survived COVID at the start of a company is a testament either to the fact that you've got a solution that people will want, or you've got some deep pockets and some people supporting you. But tell me about that journey from start to now.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, not the best time to start a company. I don't think any of us really foresaw what was going to happen. We were quite lucky during that R&D phase for us. Our engineers were all able to work remotely. We could collaborate quite well. So it didn't impact us too much from a technology development point of view. We were still able to collaborate with universities to help us get through that initial benchtop and simulation phase. But on the other hand, it really was a great time to start the company, because I started in this industry with power systems in particular about 10 years ago, and back then it was talking with people and getting them to understand concepts like inertia and that there is going to be this challenge. So at least in 2019 everyone started to be aware there is this big challenge, we're going to need change, so we didn't have to fight that battle anymore.
Yeah, you mentioned something about the keynote and the inflection point. You can sense it here. You can sense just the excitement, the number of people that are here, both the people that are at the conference and the people that are at the expo. But all of these interviews that we've done so far, and it seems like the ones that we've got lined up, are all about that inflection point and about change. So obviously change management is also going to be one of the most difficult things for you to bring to market. You're change managing that. Talk about that from a systems perspective, how you overcome the reluctance for change within all of these systems. You have to have thought about this.
We have. I mean, on one hand, it's such a big opportunity that you don't need to convince everyone on day one that change needs to happen today. But for us, being an enabling technology, we can work with all of these great innovation partner companies here to help bring the technology to market and help us accelerate. Because, as you said, here at the event, there's hundreds and hundreds of companies here that are really leading the charge there for us.
And you can enable them, help enable them in the technology that you're bringing to market.
Exactly. So when we're working with solar and storage partners, they're looking for ways to make their projects both lower in cost but have better power quality output. Everyone's looking to get the most out of these assets, so we can help them do that.
Battery storage, anything in that for Ionate? Do you do anything within the storage industry?
We do.
Utility scale.
Yeah, we work with grid scale storage as well. We've just announced a collaboration with a UK company to roll out our technology in their projects. So our hardware can provide that grid connection point for that scale and help improve power quality and reduce costs.
So when that company, it turns into a process that works and it's a case study,
Yep.
I want to publish a case study about that. Okay, success stories, because success breeds success.
Yep.
Once people show that they can do something, whether it's an enabling technology or changing the way a utility does something, I think we have an industry that wants to be first to be second.
Yes.
Right? So we got to find some of the first, and it sounds like that's what you guys are doing.
Yep.
But anyway, congratulations. Thank you for getting through the code thing. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
So all of these interviews that we have conducted have been sponsored by the people behind me. The first one is the Grid Edge Conference and Exposition, which takes place in April 2023 in San Diego. The IEEE PES Grid Edge Conference and Exposition has been a long time in the making. This will be our first one, and it will be a delight. I can already tell you that we've had more papers, more panelists than we could possibly hold, and the conference itself is going to be brilliant. The second organization sponsoring us is H2Scan. H2Scan is ubiquitous in the transformer industry as the best. It's kind of like Intel, it's inside. H2Scan is a hydrogen sensing technology that is patented, that has been around for the last 20 years. It really came on strong as transformer hydrogen became a problem. DGA recognized by IEEE. And I just thank the people at H2Scan. They are also in electrolyzers, fuel cells, battery storage, but hydrogen safety is incredibly important. They're in refining, in processing, so H2Scan, thank you. Lastly, RE+. We are at the Renewable Energy Plus Conference and Exposition, and as we close this one out, I want to thank them for allowing us to conduct these interviews here, for allowing us to be part of their incredible conference. It's been enormous. There have been 27,000 people that have attended this conference, and you can tell the energy, the excitement that's taking place within the renewables industry, so thank you, RE+. It's been a delight to do these interviews, and I hope you've enjoyed them.